Hello and welcome. My name is Patrick, the Keeper of the Hydra. Today we ask the question, why is NOED both OP and weak at the same time? Before we get started, two things. One, this is my opinion, and two, I'm not going to say it's toxic because to me that's not a valid reason. First, I'm going to start off with why the perk is bad. 1. Survivors have an advantage when it comes to finding dull totems. The survivors have two perks that can locate dull or lit totems, as well as having a map. One perk tells the survivor that there is a totem somewhere within 12 meters ahead of them. And one that is when a gen is finished, you can see the auras of gens, chests, and totems within 64 meters. The killer, on the other hand, has one perk that will alert him if a survivor starts cleansing a lit totem, one that he can see the aura of survivors for 6 seconds if they get within 2 meters of any totem, and one that if they cleanse a lit totem, they can see the auras of all survivors for 10 seconds. None of the killer perks tell him where dull totems are unless a survivor walks by one. On a side note, the 3 perks that revolve around totems are hex perks and can be removed. 2. It only affects basic attacks. As you might say, well duh, that would be OP if not. That does limit the killers that can use the perk to the fullest extent. If you're playing a killer that can easily loot, that can give the survivors time to either get the exit gates to 99% or find the totem. 3. It's random. If there is more than one dull totem in the match, then it can spawn at any of those totems. I've had moments where NOED will spawn right next to me, or on the totems that are in the open as a survivor. 4. There are better perks. If the survivor cleanses all the totems or removes NOED early on, then you're playing with 3 perks. Dragon's Grip, Devour of Hope, Hex Haunted Grounds, Make Your Choice, and Rancor will also apply the exposed status effect to survivors. Those 5 perks have their ups and downs, but I can think of 3 that can replace NOED. This is not in any order, but Dragon's Grip is good because after kicking a gen, any survivor who touches that gen will scream, revealing their location for 5 seconds, and will be exposed for a full week. Not going too far into it, but the upside is you will still be in the area, and it also protects the gens. The downside, however, it has an 80-second cooldown. The next perk that we're going to talk about is Devour of Hope. This perk is awesome and can easily replace NOED. Devour of Hope has 3 abilities, but you will need to let the survivors that you'll hook get unhooked when you're 24 meters away. For each survivor that gets unhooked, you get a token. At 2 tokens, you gain a 5% speed increase after 10 seconds. It also lasts for 10 seconds. At 3 tokens, everyone becomes exposed until the totem is removed. And at 5 tokens, you can straight up mori the survivors. The upside, besides being able to kill everyone, will be them trying to find where the totem is instead of doing the gens. However, the downside is that it is a hex totem and can be removed. On top of that, it's slow to get off, as you need 3 tokens to insta-down and 5 to kill. Last but not least, we have Rancor. It'll make one survivor an obsessed. This perk is nice for hunting down survivors, as every time a gen is finished, you get to know the location of each survivor for 3 seconds. When the last gen is done, your obsession becomes exposed for the rest of the match, and when you down your obsession, you can mori them. Those 3 perks I would use to replace NOED. But now let's talk about the upside of NOED. Number 1. It is a free perk. You don't need to buy any killer or get any teachable from the other killers to get it, unlike the 5 other exposed perks that I mentioned in the bad side of NOED. Number 2. It's a perfect perk for new killers, as the ranking system can put new killers with seasoned survivors. Not only that, but the free killers, besides Huntress, can all use NOED to the fullest extent. As I said, in the downside, it's a basic attack only, so Huntress can't use her hatchets to down survivors with NOED. Number 3. In a bad game, you can still kill everyone if you're lucky with the totem spawns, and the survivors didn't break all the totems. Number 4. The tool can combo off nicely with several other perks, including Blood Warden. Because of the endgame collapse, you have 2 minutes if a survivor is not downed or on a hook. If you can get within 1 minute of the endgame collapse, and you hook a survivor, and they immediately unhook that survivor, they are trapped within the match and will all die. In conclusion, this is why NOED is both OP and bad at the same time. I would recommend any new killer to keep an eye on the Secret Shrine for one of the 3 perks that I would use instead, being Dragon's Grip, Hex, Devour of Hope, and Rancor. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video, and I will leave you off with this video of me killing these survivors with Devourer of Hope.